Hello Dub Nation, it's always a thrill to connect with you, especially as we're about to reveal the latest news that could shape the fate of our beloved Golden State Warriors. But before we dive into this whirlwind of information, let me make a friendly request. Show us some love by clicking the like button to strengthen our bond, and hey, if you are not subscribed yet, join our channel for a thrilling and emotional journey. Don't forget to turn on notifications to stay ahead of the game. Draymond Green drops truth bomb on why Darvin Ham of the Lakers shouldn't be fired. After yet another playoff exit, most loyal Los Angeles Lakers fans immediately directed their sarcasm at someone. Who was the target of comments insisting on their firing? Well, it was Darvin Ham. From remarks about the loss made by Anthony Davis to LeBron James' challenging demeanor, it's clear why the collapse might be pinned on him. But Draymond Green sees the situation differently. The Golden State Warriors forward argues that no single person is to blame for how terrible the Lakers played. This team should be able to shoulder the blame collectively, from LeBron James and Anthony Davis to the rest of the squad down to the coaching staff. Draymond Green outlined why giving Darvin Ham the boot would just be a bizarre move to kickstart the Lakers' offseason, via the volume. I think it would be wrong to fire him. He's going to receive a lot of criticism given the season they had, but their roster didn't improve from last year, and they were a bubble team. Yes, they made it to the conference finals with LeBron James and Anthony Davis playing the way they were playing, but they didn't get better, stated the Warriors legend. Last season, the Lakers finished the regular season in 7th place in the Western Conference standings. They had an offensive rating ranked 20th, at 114.5, and a defensive rating ranked 11th, at 113.9. There wasn't much change in personnel, schemes, or even their rotations. So, the league caught up to them. The Lakers ended up 8th this year. Their offensive rating improved to 115.9, pushing them to 15th place. On the other end of the court, the defensive execution from the LeBron James and Anthony Davis-led squad worsened. They dropped to 16th place and had a rating of 115.3. Lakers didn't move the needle much. Green doesn't just think they mostly ran the same Lakers team as last year. He also posits that the team lost key rotational players like a point guard. They lost Dennis Schroeder. I don't think they replaced him well. Gabe Vincent didn't bring anything to the season. Obviously, he got injured, he added about the Lakers' point guard puzzle. So, the conclusion was pretty straightforward for Green. Either way, Ham didn't have much to work with. That means there might be blame, but it shouldn't solely fall on the Lakers' head honcho. He even criticized fans calling for the coach's firing after the NBA playoffs exit. I don't think the roster got better, but you expected better results. But everyone would blame Darvin Ham as if it's all his fault. Is it really? Thankfully, they're not firing Darvin as if it's solely his fault and no one else's. I think that's garbage, he concluded. The Lakers are once again entering a long offseason. Will they use this time to improve and achieve a higher ranking in the NBA playoffs next year? The Warriors have a problem with Draymond Green. One of Golden State's biggest problems can be attributed to one of the big three. Over the past decade, the Golden State Warriors have solidified themselves as one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history. Winning 4 championships in 8 years behind the winning combination of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, the Warriors were brought back from irrelevance to the center stage of the association. During that time, the Golden State's Big Three showcased their ability to adapt to various challenging circumstances and stay at the top through a series of changes. After building a homegrown champion in 2015, one of the league's top 3 players, Kevin Durant, joined them in 2016 and changed their entire dynamic. After 5 consecutive NBA Finals appearances and Durant's departure, injuries and a depleted roster led the Warriors to the bottom of the standings. But even after 2 full seasons struggling just to make the playoffs, Golden State rose unexpectedly to win their 4th and most special championship in 2022. Now, as the Big Three begin to show their age, the Dubs face more unique challenges. The biggest being 1/3 of the dynasty trio, Draymond Green. Although still one of Golden State's most important players, Draymond has unfortunately been more of a liability than an asset to his team lately. Draymond Green has been a hindrance to the Warriors' mission. When it comes to his athletic performance, Green hasn't shown many signs of slowing down. He still brings the same value as a rhythmic and timely defender, offensive facilitator, and even showed significant improvement in his three-point shooting last season. By all indications, Draymond is still a positive player for the Warriors when he's on the court. The problem with one of the greatest defenders of this generation isn't in his athletic talent but in his mind. Throughout his career, but especially recently, Green has struggled to control his emotions when it matters most. We're all aware of the Jordan Poole incident, where he erupted at his former teammate and seemingly disrupted some chemistry in the locker room. Last season, Klay Thompson and Jaden McDaniels had a minor scuffle within 2 minutes of the Warriors vs Timberwolves game. Unprovoked and seemingly without reason, Draymond chose to put Minnesota's big man, Rudy Gobert, in a headlock, earning him a 5-game suspension. Golden State went 2-3 in the games he missed. Less than a month later, Green made what seemed like an unnatural move, resulting in a direct hit to the head of the Suns' Jusuf Nurkic. This earned him an indefinite suspension from the league, which would equate to 12 missed games. While Draymond was off the court, his team lost another 5 games. Fixing Draymond's emotions would benefit the Warriors. The nature of the league-imposed suspension stemmed from Draymond's repeated history of unsportsmanlike acts. The biggest reason why this situation is a problem for the Warriors is that it hurts their team when they're already skating on thin ice in a tough Western Conference. 2 weeks ago, Golden State's season ended against Sacramento in the play-in tournament. It's logical that the Dubs probably wouldn't have been in that game had they managed to keep one of their most valuable players on the court for another 17 games. Time lost due to injuries is one thing. Some players are unlucky with injuries no matter how well they take care of their bodies. But losing time because of an inability to avoid attacking an opponent in a basketball game? The reality is that it simply shows a lack of control. The good news here is that this problem can still be rectified. Putting Draymond through a mandatory therapy session required by the league may or may not have done anything to actually set him on the right path. But if Green can acknowledge on his own that he needs to be more diligent with his emotions, it could go a long way in giving this iteration of the Warriors one last shot at a championship. New report on Kevin Durant trade talks for Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors and the Phoenix Suns combined to win 0 games this postseason, with the Warriors losing in the play-in tournament and the Suns getting swept in the first round. The early exits of these two veteran teams have led many to believe that significant changes could be on the horizon. In a recent report by Mark Willard of the 95.7 The Game's Willard and Dibbs show, it was reported that a Durant trade to the Warriors this summer is something that could happen. Before Durant was traded to the Suns, there were rumors of a Warriors reunion being a possibility, but the superstar forward ended up being sent to a Pacific Division rival. While it seems unlikely that Phoenix would have any interest in letting go of Durant, especially considering their owner's intent to compete every year, there might be a deal that makes sense for all parties involved. If the Warriors are truly committed to contending in the final years of Steph Curry's stardom, then getting him another star teammate is seemingly a must. Durant and Curry were undoubtedly the most unstoppable duo of all time during their years together, and they would still be a lethal pairing several years later. As mentioned earlier, it seems highly unlikely that the Suns would let Durant go, but the Warriors could put together an intriguing package if Phoenix were to explore trade talks. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and of course, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to stay up to date on all things basketball. Golden State Warriors Blue Heart Yellow Heart.